All right, let's dive into Ehrenfels Castle. This place is just incredible. It's perched right there on the banks of the Danube, and it's basically a treasure chest of history, art, and, well, a few secrets. So let's start prying it open, shall we?
I mean, seriously, just imagine the stories these stones could tell. We're talking about centuries of powerful counts, clashing armies, brilliant artists, and yeah, maybe even a few ghosts. Today, we're going to try and listen in as we explore what makes this landmark so amazing.
And when I say amazing, I also mean massive. To give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, the castle has more than 10 towers and these enormous walls. This was not just some fancy home. No way. This was one of the most fortified strongholds in all of Austria.
Okay, so our journey starts right here, in Linz, Austria. And you gotta understand, the castle spot on the Danube River, that was no accident. It was a completely strategic move designed from the very beginning to command the entire landscape.
From its very foundations, way back in the 14th century, Ehrenfels was all about power. The Counts of Tyrol didn't build it just as a place to live. They built it as a formidable statement of defense and authority. It was basically a message carved in stone.
Now, before we actually step inside, it's really important to get a feel for the castle's long and pretty dramatic history. It's a past that has shaped every single stone and corridor that we're about to see.
So the story officially kicks off in 1350, but the castle was always evolving. It went through these huge, lavish expansions during the Renaissance, and then, bam, it completely transformed into a key military fortress during the really brutal 30 Years' War. And then, fast forward to the year 2000, its cultural importance was locked in for good when it became a UNESCO World Heritage Site. What a ride!
All right, let's head inside. This is where that long history truly comes alive. You can see it in the spectacular architecture and the priceless art everywhere you look.
The moment you walk in, you can feel it. This isn't just one style. It's this dynamic, almost competitive mix of different eras, and each one is kind of fighting for your attention. It's absolutely fascinating to see. And you can see that collision happening right here. On one hand, you have these dramatic Gothic revival elements. You know, the iconic pointed arches and those complex web-like vaults. And on the other, you get the pure opulence of the Baroque style, with its huge, sweeping arches and monumental staircases. Honestly, every single room here is basically a museum. The art collection alone is just breathtaking. You're looking at some of Europe's oldest paintings from the 16th century right next to masterpieces by absolute legends like Dürer and Cranach the Elder. It's unreal. But you know, all the beauty you see in these grand halls, that's really only half the story. Ehrenfels Castle is hiding some deeper, more mysterious secrets just waiting to be found. Just think about it. You could be walking through a grand, sunlit hall and be completely clueless about the other world that exists right underneath you. That's right, a whole complex network of hidden tunnels, dating all the way back to the Middle Ages, runs directly beneath the castle floors. I mean, just imagine the secret escapes, the hidden meetings, all the history that must have happened down there in the dark.
And the secrets aren't just physical things. The castle is wrapped in centuries of local stories and beliefs. You know, folklore that's been passed down from one generation to the next.
Okay, and this is where it gets really thrilling. Local legends are filled with ghost stories, and the most famous one is about the ghost of a medieval knight who they say still wanders these very stone corridors. That adds a whole other layer to this place. So, how does a medieval fortress haunted by knights and filled with secret tunnels fit into our modern world? Well, its transformation is just as remarkable as its history. Today, Ehrenfels is a massive cultural hub. It draws over 100,000 visitors every single year. And hey, you might even recognize it. It's been used as a filming location for huge shows like Game of Thrones, which brought its timeless look to a global audience. And that right there is the key to its modern story. That transition. It's no longer a private fortress for counts and archdukes. It's now owned by the Austrian government and serves as a public museum, which means its incredible legacy can be shared with all of us. And that's really what Ehrenfels Castle is today. It's not just one story, but a whole library of them. It's a military fortress, an art gallery, a film set, and a haunted landmark, all at the same time. It's a great reminder that history is never just one thing. So, of all those chapters, which one would you open first?